less time.
It's not going to be fun if I go into the console
and you're getting griefed.
And the minute I start trying to do something, I get killed randomly for no reason.
Across the map. They can kill you across the map.
I literally will put the
delete
game...
you from the
delete you.
I will put the game down forever if that happens to me.
Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Emergent Gamer Podcast, episode 188, brought to you by the OG Podcast Network. I am Neo Ayoshi, joined by some cool dudes.
I'm Trip Zero.
This is Felix Ergood.
What?
What up?
Are you okay?
There's a dramatic pregnant pause.
So, we're not... I don't think we're brought to you by the OG Podcast Network. Are we brought...
Presented by?
Are we sponsored by? In partnership with, wouldn't that be more accurate?
I mean, maybe.
Details.
I mean,
Details.
to a certain audience, they are bringing us to that audience.
That's true. Okay, that's true.
Sure.
Let's go with that.
It's not wrong, 100% wrong.
It's not 100% wrong. It isn't.
We're not saying coming to you live from the Cumulus Media Studios in New York City atop Penn Station.
We're not saying coming to you live from a discarded Christmas tree.
We're not saying
on
any of those
I-95.
things. No. We're saying we are part of the OG Podcast Network family, and they bring us to a lot of people that we wouldn't regularly be brought to. So
yeah.
Thank you, OG
Cool.
Podcast
Thank
Network.
you, OG
Boom.
Podcast Network.
that's where we are.
For sure. So I wasn't here last week. I missed you guys.
Yeah, how are you?
It was real. I feel better.
Yeah,
You were
had a
sick as hell playing Red Dead Redemption.
you had a sickness.
I was literally in my pajamas when you guys were like, "Hey, podcast time."
I
And
remember
was like,
we did something Destiny related, and we were on voice chat, and you sounded. You were like 2 octaves lower than normal.
Yeah, I was.
Very
I
low
was
voice.
homesick from work that day. And then as soon as I logged out of that, I went right back to bed.
Just pass out mode.
Yeah, but video games though.
Video games. We got a good show this week, don't we? We got a couple big news points. We'll talk about our own gamings and situations and shit.
We're gonna talk about Red Dead again.
And some Red Dead and
Fallout.
And there was a Blizzard announcement, and
stuff.
people have opinions about things. So we'll get into that.
We got to talk about it.
We do.
Okay, it's the
We do.
news. It's video game related.
It is.
It's important.
We'll rip. It is important. I think it is. We'll rip the Band-Aids off.
Got to rip it off. So yeah, I guess should I just start with? Because you guys had a nice chat last week about Red Dead.
We did.
Who did?
You,
We did.
Diamond Jab.
Oh, we
and-
did. Yeah.
Yeah, and Trip.
Us.
How do you mind if I throw in some of my
No,
my two
please do.
cents?
Please do.
You weren't
Absolutely.
here last week. We
I was
want to
not.
hear it.
Yeah, and I did some more missions myself, more along the lines of the story. They were really, really fun, so we can chat about those as well.
So minor spoilers for everything up to Chapter 3.
Yes.
That is as far as I've gotten.
If you are playing this game and do not want to hear any of this stuff,
yeah. Do you want to be spoiled?
too bad.
Don't do
or,
it.
or it's fast
We're going
forward.
to talk about it.
I can't tell you how long we're going to be listening or talking about this for, so just pop in, pop out.
I'm going to keep my hand up until we're done. How's that? No, I'm not doing that.
You can.
Don't do that.
It's an audio podcast.
It's an audio
Doesn't even
podcast,
matter.
yeah. Watch us on Twitch. Plug for that.
Yeah.
We do record this live. It's pretty fun.
Yeah.
Emergent_gamer. That's the username. That's the user. Anyway, so Red Dead.
Red Dead.
Dude,
Red Dead Redemption.
what a crazy game. It's been polarizing to say the least. Because here's how I'm viewing it.
Mm-hmm.
The last open world game before this I played was Spider-Man. In that game, you are flying at 90 miles an hour through the buildings, and you're a super fast, agile fighter.
Mm-hmm.
And then I turn on Red Dead Redemption, and you're this like slow-paced, sauntering cowboy. Everything is like everything. I was going at 100 miles an hour, and now I'm doing
Turn
5.
all the way back. Come on, boy.
And it was jarring to say the least. But I instantly
That's all
was.
right.
That's all right.
It's totally all right, boy. Bringing back the boy.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta say, man, I do love it. I do love everything about the game. It's the best cowboy simulation ever.
Yeah, 100%.
And parts of it, I'm like, okay, this looting animation doesn't have to take like 20 seconds.
I appreciate that it does, though.
But like, it feels like I'm actually like doing these actions, and I have so much control over the character.
Those
and
bodies
what's going on.
have weight when he pulls them up.
Oh yeah, and when you skin animals and stuff.
Yeah, I really dug into it in terms of like allowing the game to be at the speed it's at.
Yeah.
So like
I'm okay with it.
Yeah, so like everything's like super detailed in these animations, but then there are moments when you're like, oh, I didn't mean to pull my gun out. Oh, I didn't mean to like, I mean, like you hit the wrong things.
Accidental moments.
Yeah. But overall, the story is really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I know you haven't played the first one.
I have not. No.
You gotta play the first one.
Do I?
I don't think he does.
Really?
Because here's my point about playing the first one.
Wait, you guys talked about this a little bit last week. I remember because I feel like knowing, because Diamond Jab said this. He said this. He was like, knowing what happens in the first game.
Right.
I'm like on the edge of my seat, going, when is this?
How's it going to get to that point?
Go this way.
I will tell you one thing. I'm gonna let him continue speaking, but like the thing I experienced this week that updates my opinions on the development of this game, right? I don't think that's necessary for you.
No. It's like a world building thing. We can hit that.
The context
a little
is just
bit later.
different.
Too,
it's just different.
But the point I'm getting at is, if you didn't, I care more about the fact that John and Abigail and Jack are not there in my base, which I'll get into in a second. But like, because I played the first game,
and you want to see that progression,
Since you didn't play it, then maybe
they're just
that
side
bug
characters.
is
No. I recognize the importance, and I also wouldn't want to miss exposition because it's all relevant to the story as a whole. So I'm not like okay that I'm missing out on that kind of stuff, but
we don't know if you are.
Yeah, so what you're referring to, Felix, is the bug that showed up this week for a lot of
It's real, and it's confirmed by Rockstar.
They actually did say, they put out a statement saying
their statement sucked.
Their statement did suck. They're like, well, we're not going to patch it.
You sound mad. You sound mad a little bit.
Because it's the same exact fucking company line email I got when my GTA 5 back on the PS3 fucking skipped over 2 missions and I couldn't get 100% in the game. Like, it's the same party line bullshit.
I wonder if that's just like a Rockstar game.
Where they just basically were like, well, sometimes that happens in development, sorry. And I was like, oh,
so I missed out part of your game.
You're a big
They have
piece of
said
shit.
This is being patched at this point, though.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
All right, so let's just detail real quick. The bug is certain characters from your posse aren't in your camp.
4 specific ones.
4 specific ones. No spoiler. You don't have to spoil it. Or is it spoiler?
Oh, no, it's not a spoiler.
Sadie, John, Abigail, Jack.
Sadie, John, Abigail, and Jack.
This bug will happen to you in the game if, for whatever reason, you use the retry checkpoint option while you're playing a Chapter 2 mission where you take the girls into Valentine on a carriage.
Oh, is that the one?
That's the mission.
Oh, well, I heard it was the uncle mission that does it.
Well, the title is... Hold on, I'll keep talking to you, and I'll find the title just to confirm it.
I know you had that problem, Felix. I jumped back in my game, and I don't think they're missing. But apparently, after Chapter 4, they'll all come back. After you end Chapter 3 into Chapter 4, they all
came
come
back at the beginning of 3.
At the beginning of 3.
They were back at the beginning of 3.
I believe I'm still in the middle of Chapter 3. So I think that's where I am. Yeah.
I noticed them showing up at the beginning of Chapter 3 and was completely fucking dumbfounded.
It's in our notes.
It's Polite Society Valentine style. That is the one where you go in with all the girls into the town, and you each like interact with what they're doing.
And they said the recommendation is you restart the whole mission over from very beginning.
Reload a save from before or do the mission from the beginning. Yeah. If you do retry checkpoint, they will not be in your camp, but it does not impact main story missions. And when it will impact main story missions with them being needed, they'll be back in your
user had sourced that the what he thought was the problem was that the uncle mission caused it if you did it early.
Well, that's probably in all the official communication. They mention this specifically, so I don't. That's definitely
okay. Well, I'll be careful on that Polite Society mission. Is it 2 missions or 1 mission?
It's 1.
It's just.
And I believe I've already completed these missions.
I did. And
I definitely did it in my first.
I definitely remember. Like retrying it now that I'm thinking back on it. I forget what killed me or what caused me to do it. I might have like lost someone. Because I think is the very end. Well, the uncle thing is part of it, Felix.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh okay, cool.
It's part of the. It's this whole flow is in the same mission category.
Oh okay, I see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, damn.
This is where I lost it. I lost the guy that you're chasing from Blackwater. He got too far away from me, and I had to retry. I lost him in the stables. Remember the guy's like, you're from Blackwater, and then like you start riding after him.
Okay.
He took a turn, and I couldn't see him on my monitor, and then it got too far away, and it was like, mission failed. That was why I had to retry it. And then they are not in my camp.
That's a shame.
I can't remember if... I definitely did lose them from the camp, so something might have happened during that mission. But
well, all that aside, I still think the game is... This isn't a game like I rushed through Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
This is a game that I know it's going to take me a very long time to play, just because of the pace of the game and how the game like unfolds itself slowly as you do your thing. I think it's great. I think it's a game that's not asking you to like rush through it, and it's not asking you to like it really wants you to inhabit the world.
It asks the opposite of you. It asks you to take your time and lead yourself to whatever pulls your attention, and there's no rush at all. If you're going to pick an herb, you're going to watch him pull the leaves off of the stem of this herb and drop it back to the ground and examine it.
There's no like checklists. They don't give you checklists. Like, well, there's like a log you can like refer to, but like it's never in front of your face. It's never like, hey, you got all these things you need to do.
I'm a big fan of the whole vibe, honestly.
The whole thing, yeah. I agree. And this is I know I'm going to be playing this through Christmas. I'm going to be playing this through probably through the next couple of months.
I was broadcasting it when it came out.
Yeah.
But I'm having a lot more fun off stream, and I don't think it's a very streamable game, at least for me.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm going to personally take time away and enjoy this in my downtime.
Yeah.
To really like fully immerse myself in the experience without having to like, entertain a chat or
same here.
Make a big deal about everything else.
Yeah, you did mention that.
Yeah, I'm no longer going to stream the game. I'm just going to play it off stream, soak the whole story in, so I don't miss anything.
Yeah.
Because I want to be focused now that I'm fucking completely missed the bug, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, not that I would have known that could have happened, but like
I think I am going to restart. From the
one thing that made it even worse.
Yeah, no, it's not too bad.
One thing that made it even worse for me was the fact that I missed in chapter 1 that the woman you saved from the burning house. This is not a spoiler. This is chapter 1. Chapter 1, the woman you saved from the house is Sadie Adler.
Yeah,
right.
I didn't hear that in the dialogue because I was busy entertaining a crowd of people, right? So I never heard that that's who that woman was that you saved. So when she disappeared from the camp and then immediately appeared up in a mission in chapter 3, it's the mission where Sadie and the cook are fighting.
Yeah.
And then you take her into town and then you get into it with some bandits.
I don't think I did that one. I'm not on 3 yet.
But it's not really a spoiler. I mean, it's just an introduction to Sadie. It's really getting to know her. But like, I didn't know who she was. I was like, who in the hell is this person who just appeared in camp?
Yeah.
Like that's how jarring it was for me. And that's why I ended up going on a quest to like just start over.
I honestly can't wait to restart again because I'm sure the camp 1 will be more lively and I'll know how to do certain things already, so I'll be better prepared going through the game.
You're going to do what I did?
I'm going to do a full restart.
Okay, and follow the directions in the
well, yeah, I just know for that one, don't fucking fuck up.
I kept my save. I didn't get rid of the save.
I
kept it.
I haven't made any multiple saves, and now I'm past it, so I have no option but to restart it. But I do want to experience it fully, so I'm going to do it. Honestly, it's like I've only done a couple random missions here and there. Did some other exploring, shot some shit up. I haven't spent a lot of time like engraving my guns and customizing shit because I wanted to wait until
I went through like 40 minutes of like customizing my guns out. Oh yeah, yeah. Well, I did this. There's this one mission that I got, and I'm not going to spoil it for you, but you get a lot of money from it. You get a lot of money from it. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to upgrade my camp. I'm going to fucking get some new guns. I'm going to engrave them. And so that was the last thing I did in the game. I'm pretty sure.
My second playthrough, I'm putting all the money, everything I take, right into the camp till. Like
at least upgrade what's his name? Dutch's thing first, stuff. Because then other people will contribute money and shit in addition to you.
I had some person in camp be like, Arthur, you gotta start contributing more. And I look at the ledger and I'm like, girl, you gotta start contributing more. I'm dropping everything in this thing.
Maybe they mean like you gotta like bring more food, like bring.
I do.
You bring all that stuff.
Yeah, I donate food. I donate jewels to the ledger. To that box.
Just punch her in the face.
I should just did like the draw. You can't draw your gun in camp, but like you can draw your gun.
I did that by accident actually. I was. Do you remember the mission where you go and you're looking for the O'Driscolls. It's where you first find like the shotgun on the mantle.
Yeah.
Well, I'm leaving that place because the game starts. I think I died recently there, and I was done for the night because the posse comes looking for you after you're done. You got to like re-escape again. But I remember I started my game and I'm trying to get on my horse, and it's been like a couple days, and the control scheme is not intuitive at all. I'm always reading the menus as to
you're
what
kind of fighting the controls.
to do.
Are you doing
That is
third?
that is a down.
No,
a
I'm doing
downside.
first.
Oh, that is wait. I'm sorry. That is definitely a complaint I have.
What?
The controls. The auto aim is all wacky. You have to like adjust it. I had to adjust how aiming.
I did all my
work.
all my sensitivity was customized now to me.
Felix, you watched me when I started the game, right? And I was doing the first train heist you do. I'm sorry, I totally interrupted you.
That's okay.
But I was doing that first train heist, and my aim was all over the place. Like I couldn't after doing Destiny on controller.
Yeah, I know.
This is like
Usually,
oh my God.
usually I found that it snaps to like their center of the body mass,
And that's
you
what
can flick
I
up to the
relied on.
head.
That
Yeah.
I relied on the snapping of the aiming.
I'm used to it because of GTA.
Sure.
It's the same exact thing.
Same
as
thing.
GTA, yeah.
Same exact
As in
thing. Yeah.
GTA.
No, but I went to my horse. I was still in third person. I actually switch actively between the two depending on what I'm doing. But I was in third person right now, and I went to get on my horse, and I forgot which button actually got on, and I hit circle, which is like the punch button. But when you're behind the horse, you just slap its ass.
Oh my God.
And then it just kicked me in the chest and just fucking ran off in the opposite direction. And I'm like, here we go.
My God.
Now I'm covered in mud, and I lost my hat, and I'm fucking my horse is somewhere
That's
away.
great.
When you're on the horse and you're running the things, and you just fly off of it, and the horse
Twitter
goes.
is full of just the funniest clips. We actually I think we sent them into the Discord and into our chat last week when we were talking about
It's
just
insane.
some amazing horse running into rocks, sending the rider flying clips. It's amazing.
And then it's funny because I was watching Felix before you arrived tonight. He was playing Assassin's Creed, and that is a very streamlined game. Your character, we were
Sleek
talking,
movement, I'm sure, in and out of things.
we were talking about the movement of Cassandra. She's like
Fucking robot.
she's it's very robotic.
She walks
really?
around this.
At a very brisk pace. She's
Mr.
very
Roboto
fast.
shit.
Yeah.
It's good they came out with Assassin's Creed before Red Dead, right? It's great it came out beforehand because I had a chance to play it and fucking soak it in. But now I'm going back and forth between the two of them, and it's like, how did they not know to get this fucking right? Like the way she walks is just not normal. She's not walking like a fucking girl.
At this time, Assassin's Creed is it's so well. It's funny you should say that.
What?
Because years ago, Ubisoft made that comment that was like, "Oh, it's very hard to animate and model women," and everyone was like, "Oh, yeah, okay." Remember that PR statement?
Yeah,
that was
fucking
I
terrible.
don't.
that was
It's
before
incredibly stupid.
that was before Syndicate. I think it was around Unity.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Dude.
So anyway, but yeah, Assassin's Creed animations are they're made to. You want to feel fast. You want to feel agile like an assassin.
Yeah, you want to feel amazingly super
Yeah,
powerful.
I'm not talking.
Yeah.
No, I'm not talking about her animation when she's you're doing a free run. I'm talking about when you're just walking. If I want her to walk at a normal human's pace, I have to inch the thumbstick.
You kind of always had to though. I'm
But I
thinking of
don't-
all the
I
Assassin's
don't have
Creed
to
that
do
I've
that with Arthur. With Arthur, I just press it.
yeah,
and he walks
yeah,
like
but
a
we're
person.
talking about two different
Arthur's
games entirely.
default mode of movement is walking. That's his when you hold that stick all the way forward, he is walking.
Mm-hmm.
Then they require you to hit a button to get him to kind of speed up, and then mashing the button to get him to sprint.
And what I don't understand is why Assassin's Creed couldn't have done it that way.
Because your default movement in Assassin's Creed is
sprinting.
sprinting.
Full on
No,
sprinting.
it isn't. You have to press the free run button to run.
Yes, but here's okay. I know what you're saying. Here's the difference, though. Your intended movement speed in Assassin's Creed is the run. Regardless of whatever buttons you have to press to get there, you're running because you're in what they used to call, I don't know if they still do, used to call a high profile mode. You're essentially making yourself
That's a throwback.
Yeah, in assassin mode, right? So you're you're running, you're sprinting, you're ready to climb or jump or roll or whatever. You can ease off of that and just kind of walk slowly so you can blend. But that's not the intended assassin.
I know that's how it started.
Movement
But
speed.
they have added a plethora of new mechanics that require you to walk slowly. All that investigation shit looks stupid when your character's running through it.
And all of the walking animations in Assassin's Creed have been terrible, if I can remember, from all the other games.
Yeah, and they're just still fucking bad.
I know we're jumping back and forth between them, but
That's okay.
I really do appreciate Arthur's walk.
I love
I do
it.
too.
The little saunter he does.
It lines up with the intention of the game, which is to just experience this world, no strings attached. There's a story. It's an amazingly well-crafted story. It's very immersive. But if you don't want to do any of that,
you can just mainline it.
maybe you don't get the horse brush
Dude,
if you jump off on your own too early. But you know what?
I've
do what you want to do.
I've taken time to go hunting and carry pelts back and like do all these it's every activity as like kind of like quote boring as it would seem in real life. It's great.
Love the boring in this game. I truly do.
Now I will say one thing.
Yeah.
Because I'm kind of like a stress tester for Rockstar games.
You are not, but continue.
By stress, you mean like
a bit of a stress
your
tester.
personal stress.
No, yeah,
levels.
you get stressed by playing these games.
Well,
is what
that
happens.
too. I test my own stress. One thing I will say that I've determined in playing the game, I'm now playing, like, my new playthrough is third person entirely and completely good. Honorable Arthur.
Okay.
My first playthrough, the one that essentially broke, was Black Hat fully.
Oh, I was in there for a couple of those
and I was
streams.
killing a lot of people.
You were.
I just had to kill a lot of people, and I don't think I'm going to get away with it this time. But one thing I did realize in trying to play the game that way, you really can't go off their rails. They want their cinema first and choices second. They want you to play this game cinematic, despite the fact that you can kill.
Well, here's the thing. I don't think
do all this crazy shit.
I think if you do black hat activity, like if you do things that are intentionally black hat like evil, there are consequences. And those consequences become like you get the bounty, you get people running away and telling on you.
But I'm not referring to my black hat behavior in the world that got the consequence of bounties. I'm talking about in any of the cinematic parts, right? The ones that are scripted by them. Okay. You stick to their script.
Okay,
you can't deviate from their script.
Yes.
I can see that. Yeah.
And there really is not a monicum. Is that the word?
Modicum.
Monicum.
MOD.
Of choice in the story, in the cinematics. Mm-hmm. So, like, I don't want to give people the impression that if they're going to play Red Dead, it's the freest game they've ever played, and it's going to feel completely open, and you can do whatever you want.
No, to your point, for a quick example, it's a Chapter 2 story. When you bust your friend out of jail, when they first send you to Strawberry, if you've never been to that town before, there's one way to bust them out of jail, and it's the way the story tells you to do. You can't find dynamite and plant it. You can't go out, like Assassin's Creed or Hitman your way into getting this out. You have to just do what the game says and experience their movie of this moment.
Yeah, and that's what it is. And as long as you understand that, then you're going to have a good time. But if you don't like that about this Rockstar style of storytelling, like, you're going to hate it. And there are people in this world, rightfully so, who dislike the fuck out of these games.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They don't like them because of the fact that they can't make the kind of choices they can make in other games.
It for sure isn't.
I would argue that I get more choices now in the newest Assassin's Creed than I get in Red Dead.
For certain moments, you probably do. Yeah.
They've constructed a more choice-based narrative.
But you know what? I'm definitely willing to submit myself to whatever story they're trying to tell me in the moment.
That's
I'm
the
totally
thing.
okay
If you're
with that.
experiencing that story, it's like a movie inside of this world. Here's the thing: you can make your own movie, which is also the magic.
Yeah,
you can do that. Or you follow the path.
I spent days not doing the story in that fucking game.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Chapter 2 it was like a 70-hour Chapter 2.
I'm still in Chapter 2
by
myself.
far the most memorable experiences I've had are just traveling down the road and just seeing all the weird shit the weird events that happen in the world. People have been talking about this one a lot. You're riding down, and then you see this guy trying to change his horse's shoe.
Yeah.
And you go, "Hey there, partner, you need some help?" And he turns and goes, "Oh, hello," and then the horse just pelts him right in the face.
That doesn't always happen.
That doesn't always happen.
No,
well, he just got pelted in the face by the horse, and he was dead.
Wow,
just straight up. And I was like,
I haven't seen that.
Oh.
I had a guy that was asking for help along the side of the road, and I already had ignored 3 people at this point. I'm like, fuck, fine, I'll help this guy, whatever he wants.
You gotta stop for those moments, man.
Well, I've done a lot, but I was on a fucking mission, just my own mission. I had to get somewhere, and I'm like,
sure,
all right, you know what? I've been ignoring a lot, and they're throwing a lot at me. Let me just talk to this guy, and I ride over, and I'm in first person mode. I don't even see where he grabs because obviously I'm looking in a different direction, but I get pulled off of my horse by this guy, and he just fucking starts taking off with it, and I'm like, oh, you motherfucker.
That's the classic one.
Yeah, that has happened to me. They try and rob you.
That was my first negative like help, and I was like, oh, the one that I fucking pick, and of course I went after and killed the guy.
Oh, they had that.
of course.
They had that in Red Dead 1. Like you walk up, somebody's
trick-
like, "I
the
need some
trick
help.
along the
Can
side
you
of
give
the
me a
road, yeah.
ride, Mister?"
Yeah.
And then he like just rips the horse out away from you, and then you're ripped off the horse, and then he's taken off.
Yeah.
There's a new one that they added where it's a girl. At some, I don't even know where I was. I was in the Heartland somewhere.
It's like,
But
help me, mister.
she's like, "Help me, Mister."
And then
You
she
go
robs
over.
you?
No. She pulls a gun on you, and then 4 dudes come in and kill you as well.
Yeah.
So it's like
Right.
huge shock there the first time that fucking happened to me. I was
That's
like,
awesome.
oh shit, man, I'm getting surrounded
Yeah.
by all these people.
Oh, I love.
That's pretty
I
cool.
love that shit.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I would say, yeah, the cinematic missions don't have a lot of choice and variance, but those do.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Those encounters in the world have a lot of different weird choices and reactions and strange
Yeah.
things that can occur.
Absolutely.
There's some choice in the game, but like they want you to follow their screenplay.
Yeah, they do. They do.
They've
100%
written a
they do.
screenplay and they want you to follow it.
Yep.
Very nice.
So don't fight against that grain. That's my suggestion.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's Red Dead for you. Can we talk about Fallout a little bit?
Let's talk about Fallout.
Is that all right?
You got? Yeah, I haven't. This is a game that I haven't really
Touched
touched
at all.
much.
Have you watched
so
it
I'll
at
let- I mean, not for any extended amount of time.
Were you in there when I did it?
No, I didn't. I don't think I was ever able.
I watched you a
to
little
play
bit in
when
the
you were
beginning
playing
too.
it.
Yeah, I
That
saw
first week.
you in there. That
Yeah.
night.
But yeah, guys, talk about your what you've been doing.
So let me preface
Mm-hmm.
by saying I made a little write up on my experience.
Okay.
You did.
That will be live if you're watching live the show. That will be live tonight after we are done recording this.
I thought it was super accurate. I thought your observations were super accurate
Right,
to
so-
how I felt about it as well.
So yeah, if you want to,
Although I didn't play with anyone.
yeah. So if you want to go, yeah, I did play with people. I'll tell you about my experience in that too. And I talk a little bit about each of these elements that I've experienced in Fallout, and it's a pretty good all around, I think, just description of what's going on in this game from the beta.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing past that. So Fallout 76 is a game.
It is a game.
It is a game.
It's a game.
It's more or less Fallout 4 with mechanics tweaked in a way
Right.
to accommodate the new online structure.
Playing with others in the
Playing with
same
others.
environment. Yeah.
So, like in Fallout 4, you had materials that you gather, and those materials do become important. And another thing you got to worry about is your food and drink.
Oh, you do. That's officially part of
Yes.
this.
It's officially a survival mode.
I do
Fallout.
not know if I like that.
I
No.
love it.
Do you really?
It's right up Felix's
yeah.
alley,
All right,
1,000%. Though.
I've played at least, I want to say, 10 hours
Hell
or so
yeah.
of the beta. And it's become such a chore to make sure I always have something on me. Always food or drink.
Really?
Yeah. And
It's a chore to you?
like the game does provide you ample amount, like you're walking through the woods, like there's fruit everywhere, there's wood for you, like any log on the ground you can gather wood from, which is required for a lot crafting. And I feel like there need to be more like animals running around, like Brahmin and like the cow, the two-headed
Are
cow
they
things.
safe to eat? Those kind of things, like the mutant.
So no,
you'll get rads from that shit.
Gotcha.
So what
yeah,
you'll
that's
do
what
is
I would think.
you'll-
Even if you cook it.
Okay, yeah. So like you'll gather all these materials, and then you go to a cooking station, and then that will let you kind of make it more edible.
More edible.
More
less
edible.
rads. Dramatically less
Right.
rads.
Right.
But
Still
like,
some
you
a little
still-
bit?
Just a tight.
Still
taste.
a little bit, and it's not
Just
the
a
rad
scotch?
situation is not that
Very
bad.
small amount.
But
Skosh, whatever the word is.
so it is definitely more Fallout, and that's cool. But I think the game does really shine when you are playing with other people.
It seems like it would, like
Yeah.
just that whole dynamic.
Did you get into like sharing stuff to
Yep.
people, like
Yeah.
giving them like I have extra shit here?
Yeah, and like that's what so you can you can drop your camp anywhere you want. You get a camp utility.
I never got into any
Can you
of
pick
that.
it up?
I didn't have enough
Yes.
time.
So well, you drop it on the ground and then it's there.
But the camp doesn't have the crafting stations built into it, or does it?
Hang on, let me finish.
Yeah.
So you can drop this thing anywhere, right? And once you drop it, it's there. But if you want to move it, you just look at the area that you want to move it to, and then you drop it again. So and it costs caps to do it, but once you have the camp on the ground, you can build any sort of stations around. Or any sort of stations around it. So like, but you have to unlock them via. I don't know how the unlocking process goes. Like, so like I could make a cooking station. I could make a bed. I could make a stash, a chest stash.
Once you build them,
Yeah.
When you replace the camp, are they already built?
No, it won't just drop everything that you've already had out.
Oh, you gotta
so
do it again.
in your build menu, you'll have. I actually got a little deep into the building this time around. I'll tell you why in a second. But it'll become anything you have crafted will be in the pre-crafted menu because it just gets stored. So you don't have to
use the materials again.
Exactly. You just drop it because you've already crafted it. So that's a beautiful thing. Love that.
Good. That's really good.
I've had a few experiences with this. For example, I was with two of our buddies, Andy and Channing. We were roaming around the world, and I was catching up to them on foot, and they got into an encounter with two other random players. This is a really cool moment. They started a gunfight with these guys, and they were fighting, and I was like, I'm coming, guys. I'm coming to back you up. And it seemed as though we didn't have the advantage at first. But what I did was I dropped my camp down right in this area, and I built multiple turrets.
Okay.
Right away. Instantly, the tables were turned, and we had them on the ropes.
Did you build right in front of them, or did you build it back and say, hey, guys, come back. I have this whole setup?
Kind of. Well, like I said, I'm putting my camp down, guys. Hang out in this area here.
Fall back to this or something?
And I just started dropping turrets.
Nice.
And it was, I had, that was a lot of fun.
They just get lit up?
Yeah, and they drop crafting materials when you die. I don't know if you lose it from your inventory. That could be.
I've heard that
set up your turrets.
Did
they respawn near you there and come back for more
in the area? Yeah, they did come back for more. Two or three times. Hey man, if I was on the opposite end of this, I'd be like, I'm gonna fuck these guys.
Yep.
I'm gonna show them what's what.
Of course, you want that revenge.
Yeah, but it didn't work for them.
I would have been running.
I pretty much stationed myself with my sniper rifle around turrets. So. Is this going to be part of like the PvP meta? Like, these are things I was thinking about. Like, can you see this happening?
Skills and assets like that, 100%, dude. 100%.
This is like some Fortnite shit. Is pretty much what happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're building your defenses.
Another cool thing about the building is there are specific landmarks in the world that you can take over. Like you can claim as your own. I believe it's completely temporary because when you log back in, I lost it. So like here, I'll give you an example. So we took this junkyard, and I started building the foundation for a house, and I built up a house and turrets and crafting and the whole shebang, the whole thing, the whole base that you're used to in Fallout 4, like that you're familiar with probably.
The whole
Get all
shebang.
The stuff. At one point, the game was bugging out because it's fucking Fallout, and I had to restart the game, and it transferred ownership to either Andy or Channing. They were then the owners, so I wasn't able to take ownership back of it. And I don't know how that even works. Like, it was very strange. But, man, we established a full-on base, and it was great. Like, we were like, chugging along with this whole crafting thing. And
so that's weird. When you came back in later, the base was gone?
Well, so here's what Andy said, because he was in the base when I logged out. Everything that I had built disappeared. But when I logged right back in, my whole house and everything came right back. So it seems like... Is it instanced? I don't know. I'm still not sure how this works.
No, it seems to be associated with the player.
Right.
That would make it instanced.
Exactly. Yeah. Instance with the player. Yeah.
Oh, instance with the player.
Like the term instancing, if people out there are unfamiliar, is where in an online game, a separate version of the area that you're in exists only for X amount of people that are in that. In like a MMO situation, like you're playing like World of Warcraft or Final Fantasy 14 or something.
Destiny also does.
Destiny 100%. MMOs, you would like do your dungeon. Like your dungeon would be just you guys in the dungeon, or like in Destiny when you go to the tower, right? The tower would be your own instance of whatever 16 people can get fit into that instance of the tower.
Yep.
Okay.
So but it means that like whatever exists in there once the instance is gone would be gone if there's like loot related to that kind of stuff.
Yep. Well said. The bases, though, these major landmark bases are also very important because you get these things you can craft that are essentially resource extractors. So you can extract resources from specific piles of junk or materials, metals, wood, and it's probably very essential to like do this so you can maintain your base and building it up, and so you have all these materials that you can carry with you. That all that stuff I love. I thought that was a really cool thing.
I started to get into it. And
doing it together was amazing.
It all looked super interesting. But I just had no one to play with because I was just on Xbox by myself. I will tell you though, I am doing on the 14th when it comes out. I'm doing a co-stream with Diamond Jab on the Xbox.
Very
nice.
Cool. I'll make sure to tune in with that.
Yeah.
Honestly, rolling together with a squad, that's going to be fun. That is definitely where this game does shine. the game is very streamlined in its nature. Like there's no quest givers. And one thing I don't think I put in my piece, I may update this later, but I feel like because of the way they deliver quests to you, you lose a lot of, like, you know how Fallout, you're crafting your character through dialogue and through interacting with other players or not players, other NPCs in the world. You lose all that because you're just picking up holotapes and you're just acquiring quests that way.
It's just you and the other people that exist. Yeah.
Am I not talking into it? I thought I'm talking into it.
At you.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Yes.
Sorry, I didn't mean to call you out on that.
No, it's okay. Yeah, you lose a lot of that. What makes your character through dialogue, because you're establishing yourself that way.
It's kind of a similar worry that people had when the Elder Scrolls MMO came out. They were going to say the world is so well crafted, and we're going to lose that because I'm not playing in their storybook world. I'm now in a world with other regular ass humans.
Right.
And it's not going to be as magical.
But Elder Scrolls Online still has like dialogue options, right? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and again, I'm not saying it as a negative, but I remember when that first was rolling out, that was a concern of people that really loved the Elder Scrolls universe.
It would make no sense if there were no NPCs in Elder Scrolls Online. So there are, and all of the dialogue choices, and I've found in my experience with Elder Scrolls Online, I can play it for hours completely alone.
Yep.
I feel like
to be with anyone.
In the case of Fallout 76, if you were to buy Fallout 76 because you love Fallout and you just wanted to play it by yourself and you just wanted to not worry about all the multiplayer stuff, I feel like you wouldn't enjoy it as much as a Fallout player.
Really?
Dude, I was talking to my roommate about this, and he's played all of them. He's played 1, 2, like the original top-down isometric games. He loves all of them. And he's like, I can't see myself enjoying this. If I was forced to interact with other people, that's not what I'm looking for in a Fallout game. And and without those dialogue options and without those personal choices that you make in the game, a lot of it gets left behind in like the Fallout 4. Even Fallout 4 got criticized for a lot of its choices and narrative.
Yeah.
But like a lot of that gets left behind because of the nature of how the quest systems work. If I were to get this game and play it, and I'm very, very heavily considering it, and it's buggy as fuck. I just want to mention that. It is.
I've heard a lot of that online.
Straight up broken in so many ways. I would definitely play this game with people. That would be my I would want to be grouping up with people and experiencing it that way, doing the nuke missions, and seeing where the game goes, with people. That would be how I would jump in on that game.
I'm glad you guys do. I know I said this last week, but
is it going to be a world where they constantly update it with new stuff?
Yes, that's the idea. One cool thing, Trip, about it, the game. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's fine.
What happened? What?
I started talking, and then you started talking, and didn't realize that I was.
Did I cut you off?
A hard cut off. Yeah.
Sorry, dude.
This train rolled right
Trip,
through.
one thing you would appreciate: there are public events that occur throughout the world.
I've heard about that. Yeah.
Literally straight out of like Destiny and stuff. Like something happens on the map and
just run over and start shooting at it,
and a bunch of people are participating together, and like I like that. I think that's a cool thing. I like public events in Destiny. Hell yeah,
it is. It's cool. It gets people involved in some kind of community action, and then you get little rewards and shit. It's fun.
You totally do too. And framing it in this kind of sense, if you play this game like you play Destiny, you're gonna have a ball. It is definitely everything. All the systems are tailored for a live service style game.
Yeah, I know. And what I was gonna say is that I don't know if I'm gonna enjoy it though, because Fallout hasn't gripped me before Fallout 3, and then Fallout 3 happened, and I lost hours to Fallout 3.
Baby.
I loved Fallout 3, and then I tried with 4. To this day, I can't keep a save active in 4. I drop off. I lose all interest in it, and I think I wouldn't click with this because it's something about the mix of the environment, the world, whatever. I don't know. Like I'll watch how it unfolds during the release and see if like maybe I can be convinced to participate. But as of now, there's not like a drive or a desire to hop in.
Even after playing it, I'm pretty much on that fence too. Yeah. I want to see what the post-launch world looks like.
Right.
Because I am concerned about, and now I guess we can kind of slowly segue into the news topic on Fallout. That's okay with you guys?
Sure.
Is it good?
Yeah.
Some exploits have been found in the game because of the nature of the game's engine and how it's an old engine. This is the same engine they've been using since Fallout 3.
4, right? This is 3?
Well,
was 4 built on 3's like basic engine? Wow.
Yeah, it was built on top of it. And
so
then
this shit is old as fuck.
It's funny because Bethesda brought in its software under their wing at some point, and id came in and tried to retool the gunplay to feel better in Fallout 4. That's how you got like a lot of the down sites now works a lot better in Fallout 4.
Yeah, I think they succeeded with that.
For sure. Still a little janky. Still not great.
Yeah, it's not going to feel as good as like Halo or Destiny or anything.
They're restricted.
Bungie shooting related.
Yeah, it's still restricted by the engine and the age of it. And they're just kind of building on top of the foundation of the Game Bro engine, which is what it was called, and now it's the Creation engine. It's the same thing, but just older. But just they
crazy. It's crazy.
I know. And a lot of these exploits that are now when they threw multiplayer into the mix, all these exploits that people were using to mod and you want 200 cheeses in Skyrim, you just call it in via console.
I love the videos of like Thomas the Tank Engine flying around in Skyrim and shit. It's
dude, if
really
you go
funny.
If you go
the
on
Macho Man Randy Savage Fallout monster.
Yeah.
What's that thing called? The Death Claws? There's like a Macho Man Randy Savage Death Claw mod.
Holy shit.
For Fallout
I don't know
4.
about that one. What I saw was there was a mod in Skyrim where they changed the dragon in the beginning to Macho Man Randy Savage, but it was like his head.
Yeah.
It was just Macho Man's head, and then when it would roar, it would go, "Oh yeah, yeah, brother."
Yeah, no, in 4 there's like they changed the Death
yeah.
Claw literally to like a crawling Macho Man, which is like an
that's so
extended
fucking
like
scary.
outfit, and then his head is this like weird, like fucking he's wearing a hat and shit with sunglasses.
That's
Death
the
Claw
same.
chasing
It's got to be
after
the
you.
same group.
Probably the same guy.
Because that's what they
Yeah.
did with the.
I'm gonna find a picture for you guys. It's really funny.
That's what they did with the.
So the exploit, I got a few details if you want to.
This is essentially it's exploitable because of the way that it lives on your computer, right?
Right. And so and data gets so the way it works is there are no server checks to verify models or file integrity. If you want to make trees smaller or player models brighter colors, you can.
All you do is you just open up whatever file on your computer and edit those values, and then you're good.
Correct.
That's
Yes.
wild.
And it doesn't do any like encrypted checks.
You just
with
connect
this.
to the world with whatever shit is live on your game.
And
So
it
that
just pops right in.
so I'm sure you guys out there can imagine how you can
Oh
just
my god!
fucking do whatever.
Terrain and invisible wall collision is client side. If you want to walk through walls, you can. Holy shit!
I'm showing Felix macho claws right now.
That's outstanding.
If you want to grief people and become a god, you can use a program called Wireshark. I'm not familiar with this, and you can report to the game that you always have full HP.
Oh wow.
So there that goes. The server doesn't care about this because I'm just reading off this guy's thing.
Yeah.
It's a great idea to let the client tell the server its state rather than the server check the state of your client.
It's a lot less work for
Yeah.
the server to do.
Yep. If someone in your game is being mean, if you have Wireshark, just forge a packet and disconnect him or her.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember reading about this, and the most exciting part to me that a lot of people brought up in talking about this problem, air quotes problem,
Yeah, sure.
is that it's going to be very exciting to see the wacky shit that people are going to come up with while playing. It's going to annoy the hell out of the vast majority of players
That
but
wanna
like,
take it seriously,
But you
yeah.
will get trolled by some like internet wizard, some server god that just knows how to like teleport everyone on the entire map to a special little prison cell and like fuck around with them. Like some wild crazy shit can all happen in this situation.
Dude, are you familiar with Nexus Mods?
I've heard the name. I think
So-
that's an official platform, isn't it? Where you can just go and like download shit.
Yeah, well, it's unofficial.
Oh, it's unofficial.
No, it's not officially Bethesda.
No. Yeah, but I meant
But
like
yeah.
it's like a
It's a site.
standard platform where a lot of mods are delivered
Correct.
from, right?
There are already growing mods for Fallout
Oh my
76.
God, dude.
Like people, like you know how like they're doing their cosmetic shop thing. You
Yeah.
know they're doing that whole thing. Why bother when you can just
Right.
download whatever cosmetic mod you want from the mod Nexus Mods?
Oh my God.
Like it is very much game breaking and alarming to say the least.
Game breaking, I think, is an understatement.
Is
to
this true? Is this gonna be true for all?
So your concern
Platforms?
is consoles, right?
No, I'm just curious.
It'll be slightly different on consoles, but yes, it is still exploitable. Not to the extent the PC one will be, but there will be certain things like I don't know. I gotta.
Yeah, I don't even know how it would work, but I guess if you had that knowledge, you'd be able to
Right.
get into the files
You
still.
would be able to
console.
manipulate it somehow.
I mean, they're all computers at the end of the day, so if you can get in there, you can get in there.
So shit. It's
So-
got a rough road ahead.
Watch
so what
out
the
out
fuck
there.
does that mean?
It means they have to change their entire way the server communicates to
So,
fix it.
Yeah, Bethesda did respond. They are investigating issues and fixing them. This guy's okay. So let me just gonna pop this article open real quick, y'all.
Sure.
Because the guy who made the post was responding to it. So many of the claims in this thread are either inaccurate or based on incorrect assumptions. The community has, however, called attention to several issues that our teams are already actively tracking and planning to roll out fixes for. Our goal is to always deliver a great experience. Okay. Cheating and hacking will not be tolerated. We know our fan base is passionate about modding and customizing their experience, and that is something we intend to support down the road. Oh, so that's interesting. So they might support official mods down the road.
Well, if all this is true, it sounds like there's nothing that they can do at this point, and you just have to, I don't know, they have to just watch for cheaters. And this
is mainly why I'm taking the wait and see approach to the game.
Yeah.
I want to launch to pass us by, and I want to see how, because we're going to get like all kinds of articles that are going to be like, this person did this in Fallout 76.
All this wacky shit.
So there's that. I look forward to it. But listen, the game's fun. I had a fun-ass time
It's not going to be fun if I go into the console.
And you're getting griefed.
And the minute I start trying to do something, I get killed randomly for no reason.
Across the map. They can kill you across the map.
I literally will put
delete you from the
delete you.
I will put the game down forever if that happens to me.
I know you will.
I know you're excited to get it, but this is where I would recommend to people listening, and even you, Felix, wait and see.
Right.
But you don't have to. You're your own man.
Oh, no, I already bought it.
Your own person.
I already bought it.
You already bought it. Cool.
I'm going to go into it, and I'll be
I can't wait.
Your boots on the ground.
I want you to come back on after you play it. Come back on this episode, and I want to hear what you experienced, because it's probably going to be real exciting.
It's going to be rage-inducing, probably.
Stay tuned to twitch.tv/Felix Hergood for all the
Stay tuned for
hijinks.
Sure. All right, we're approaching our show length. I even started this time we're late.
Can we talk about Diablo and BlizzCon?
No, I think we should wrap up.
Is that cool
with that? Yeah.
You okay with that?
Yeah, I'm okay. You keep asking me if I'm okay with it.
I don't know. Before you were like, I don't think we need to talk about it.
I want to make sure we're not like
adding to a conversation
fuel onto this fire, and because there's been a lot of talking about this. We'll recap it for the people listening.
I'll try. May I?
Go for it. Yeah.
I want to try and have a reasonable discussion about this, because I feel like it kind of needs to be addressed in some form. So let's start. This weekend was BlizzCon. During the opening ceremony, we got a whole bunch of announcements. New Overwatch character, Warcraft 3 Remastered. These were all things that they were announced during their opening keynote. They finished with, for the Diablo fans, Blizzard announced Diablo Immortal, which is going to be for mobile platforms, Android and iOS. The fans in the audience reacted very...
Not on the Switch?
Not on the Switch. Diablo 3 did come out on the Switch this past week.
Oh, it did?
So yeah, you can go.
That was part of the announcement, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I should get that.
It's fun. I mean, I love Diablo 3. It's a great game. Portably, I think that's...
I heard really good things about the Switch port, too.
Oh, for sure. Like to be able to take that with you and then plug in your TV, oh my God, I love the Switch, man. Fucking give me Switch all day. But the fans in the audience did not react well to the announcement of this mobile game.
They did not.
One gentleman got up and even asked, is this some kind of early April Fool's joke? Because of how upset they were. People asked,
I saw that.
Is this even coming to PC? People were... and the response from fans was not great. And a lot of people took it very far, I think on online forums and stuff. But Blizzard on stage was going, well, no, this is for mobile only. We're making a mobile experience. And then they said, you guys have phones, don't you? And that is not, and from my point of view, you're talking to a group of hardcore Blizzard fans, mostly PC players. So most of the Blizzard audience are PC players. That's where they got their roots from, all the way back from Warcraft 1 all the way up to today. And asking an audience if they have phones when they want news on Diablo 4. They want Diablo 2 remaster. Like any of these things.
Right. Actual playable things on PC.
On their platform of choice, exactly. And needless to say, the internet did not respond well to that either. It's been memed already to death.
I read an article where somebody stated that it seems like they're 100% out of touch with their fan base.
Right.
They don't realize that their fan base is a bunch of PC players.
Yeah. Or
it's a point of view.
It is. And people were saying this ever since the merger with Activision, like 11 years ago, that this might happen eventually, that Blizzard would go down a road where they're not totally catering to their diehard fans. They're opening their market up to other avenues. And I don't blame them. When I heard about the Diablo announcement at first, I was like, hell yeah, give me it on my phone. Why do I care? I got Diablo 3. I got phone Diablo. Why not?
Right.
But then everything that followed this is where I went, okay, this is something weird's going on between the relationship between the developer, the fans, and the game the journalists who are reporting to. Because I saw a lot of journalists over the weekend pretty much like say, what, you don't like this? This isn't like people were calling fans entitled to a point where like, oh, well, Blizzard doesn't owe you anything. They're making this and you don't have to play it.
Full disclosure, that is where I sit on the issue.
Right.
You can consider me an entitled journalist calling fans entitled about some of their farther reaching reactions for sure about the issue. But I can understand backlash on both of these sides. And before we really dive in, did you want to like put a button on like what was? I don't want to cut you off.
Where did it? You were
just saying that like there's the journalist angle too about disrespecting the people that.
Well, see, because there's a relationship between all these three entities, right? The customer, the fans, the journalists who are supposed to report on the news, and I don't want to say cater to the gamer culture, cater to the people who read their websites and their whatever, and then the relationship between them and developers. So this is like a big triangle, so to speak, and they're all symbiotic in a way. Gamers love the games, and developers use the journalists for PR, and there's this whole this whole cycle that happens,
right.
We're all used to. And when I was watching this unfold, I saw what the developers didn't understand what happened. For the most part, they were like, we didn't expect it to go this bad. Of a reaction, and then the journalists were like, "Well, these are entitled gamers. They don't deserve anything that they deserve what they're getting." And then gamers go, "Well, we don't need to like everything you put in front of us. This isn't why we love you guys. Like, this isn't why we love Blizzard or these X games or X any game.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I know.
So." It's almost like, well, okay, and then I would be sitting there asking myself, okay, does this mean, am I entitled to go, no, I don't like this product, I don't want this product? Now, I'm not talking about the people who are like fucking trolling YouTube. I'm not talking about the people who someone made a change.org petition to cancel this game.
There's always a change.org petition.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
That's a little too much.
Right.
This game's allowed to exist. I want to be clear. This game can exist.
Sure.
And you can play it. You don't have to play it.
You're also allowed not to like it. You're allowed to not like it a lot. And you're allowed to not like the direction that Blizzard decided to go down this avenue. My whole problem with the way the dialogue has been going from everyone involved in this situation is how there's this inability to understand the perspective of anyone else who has a different perspective.
Yes.
And that really, I think, is the core of the shouting matches we've been seeing over the past couple days. I think the people that are the loudest negatively about this, I think it's a tiny subset of gamers that do feel a certain kind of way about what they deserve in the gaming world. It's always going to be the smallest and most agitated people that make the loudest noise, no matter what area you're talking about. They're the ones that are the most affected, and they want to make their voices known. Now, as we know from, again, all walks of life and all situations in our world, they're not always the right voice. They could be, they could not be, but the people that feel like they need to be heard are going to do what they need to be heard.
What bothers me most about that, what you just described, is that happens for sure. The loudest voices are usually the dickiest of voices, right?
Yep.
Squeaky wheel gets the grease.
Right. And my problem with that is once that happens, once those assholes come out of the woodwork and do their thing, any discussion that we were going to have about this gets fucking thrown away.
Oh, it's impossible. You can never
and
get
the
it back
message
to
is now, look at all these entitled ass bitchy gamers act like this.
Yep.
And then that bothers me because now no one's winning. We're all losing because we all look like a bunch of little babies, right?
And that's my biggest problem about it. My problem is there's this perception about gamers, and acting like this does nothing to help that perception.
Right.
It helps nothing to get more people involved in the hobby. It doesn't want who would want to join a community that is seen in that light, whether or not it's 100% warranted or accurate. That, like you said, that's the story now because that's where things are.
Right.
So that's the perception. And
but another thing is
reality.
The journalists have the option to shine a light on it or ignore it, and then just talk about what the facts are. I guess you could say the journalist thing to do. But instead, you get a whole bunch of these major journalists tweeting about it, shining a lot. They're putting their spotlights on this behavior.
Right.
And if we ignore it, I like to think personally that you just ignore it.
Oh, it'll go away.
You know what I mean?
For sure. It wasn't as fervent as this, but whenever Blizzard announced Hearthstone years ago,
They said that.
people were really upset about, like, what do you mean? A fucking digital card game? Fuck off. Like, where's your real games and shit, right? And someone in I believe there was a Forbes article linked in our group, right, about like just different perspectives about this. And I wasn't really a fan of that person's like points, but I read through everything just to kind of like fully understand it as best I could.
Yeah.
There was one thing that really stood out to me is that in making an example, he called Hearthstone a pillar of gaming. And I thought that was like a little bit short-sighted based on he was making a point about putting out a product that doesn't fit your fan base, and that was the exact argument that was made for Hearthstone. But in that point, he lumped it under a pillar of gaming. It was like Diablo and Hearthstone and League of Legends and Overwatch.
5 years
and
ago,
like,
you would have thought
would have said the exact same.
opposite.
Yeah. So
thing. Yeah.
it's
but
it's a lack of perspective again, I think.
Felix.
No, I mean, what do they say about time? Time is
Heals all wounds.
That is
I was
what
gonna
they do say that.
No,
yeah,
I was going to say it was something.
Time will reveal the truth. I don't know.
No, I
So we
was
can just
gonna
make
say,
up any kind of.
I just made that up.
There was a thing that I
Trademark.
specifically heard about how like if I don't remember what it is, but like time passes and like people forget the context. Like it's there was a better
Right.
way of saying that, but like
Context was different 5 years ago when Hearthstone
context
came
is
out.
just completely lost with time. Like
Yeah,
that's the point.
you're more removed from like
there's this really
all the
eloquent way
nuance of the
saying it, but I
discussion.
forgot what it
Yeah.
was.
So-
but that's what it is. It's like people are losing the original context because they're fitting it into their own modern context and thinking that it's something fresh or new that it hasn't come before, and someone didn't trample in your fucking feet like 5 years ago.
right.
If I may, real quick, bounce back to the announcement. Back to the announcement. So now a bunch of people, and I feel this way as well. This could have been avoided.
Oh yeah,
Right.
100%.
So
yeah.
according, Jason Schreier put an article out yesterday, pretty much saying that last minute Blizzard pulled a Diablo 4 announcement. They pulled whatever announcement that they had ready for the next mainline game of the Diablo series.
Right.
They pulled it last minute, and I use this comparison to Bethesda because they did this really well over the summer at E3. They announced they talked about Fallout 76, which was the game that's their holiday game. Then they talked about they were going to end with their Elder Scrolls Blades announcement, which is their mobile Elder Scrolls game that's coming out.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Right? Everyone did.
Yeah.
Because they ended their conference announcing Elder Scrolls 6 and Starfield. And they just showed key art, and then they had the little music swell,
Yeah.
and that was that.
That's all I did.
And then
Yeah.
all news sources were like, guys, Elder Scrolls 6 is coming. They said it. It's coming later. If they just had the logo on the screen saying, please look forward to this. We have nothing to share right now. But no, we are working on the next iteration of Diablo. No one would be talking about Diablo Immortal. No one would be upset about
They
this.
wouldn't.
But
And
you're so confident that they are.
That they're upset about Diablo Immortal? Oh, yeah.
No, you're so confident that they have something for Diablo.
Jason Schreier reported on Kotaku.
well, also Blizzard
Yeah.
before
He said that they pulled it last minute.
before BlizzCon actually happened, in official Blizzard communication,
Yes.
they did also say like, guys, don't worry, there are a lot of Diablo products in the pipeline. We're not ready to talk about Diablo 4 this year.
Right. That was yes.
So
they're like, please temper your
To
expectations.
me, that's proper expectation setting.
right.
Already for sure.
Yes.
They definitely could have gone the Bethesda route and just shown the teases just to like, pat them on the head and be like, it's cool, don't
It's
worry,
cool, guys.
don't freak
Don't
out.
worry, guys. Yeah.
But from a business standpoint, like you were talking about with the Blades game, and I fucking totally forgot about the Blades game. That got buried by the news of something that we aren't going to see for like 2-3 years, maybe at the earliest.
I'm thinking like 5 years.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at all.
Sure. Yeah.
So if you do that with this game, you minimize the importance of Diablo Immortal, whatever that is, and whatever importance you think it has as a developer. You minimize that to be like, but Diablo 4, we know it's what you all want, and it's coming. And then again, like what happened with Blades, no one's ever going to talk about Diablo Immortal, and then it's going to be, it's coming, but it wouldn't have really been anything. It would have been a logo. It would have been like Starfield. We don't know fucking anything about Starfield. We know that it's real.
Yeah.
But we already know that,
and we're excited
that
about
Diablo
it, and we don't know why. Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Here's a better thought. That dumbass that stood up and made those comments that got this shit.
Is this an April Fool's joke one?
The April Fool's joke guy really fucking backlashed. He went in the opposite direction because here's what that dumbass just fucking did. He put it on the world stage. Now I know about it. Now I'm going to buy it.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's what happened.
And I mean, that guy alone really, really, really bothers me.
Oh yeah.
Like I can get the perspective of feeling like you wanted to hear about Diablo and you've been waiting a long time and you want to hear something about your favorite franchise, but
he's wearing Diablo.
There's a time and a place for all of this.
Oh yes.
And what we've lost is this what's the word? Like this decorum in communicating professionally, I think. Again, across a lot of walks of life. Also responding from stage saying, well, you guys have phones, don't you? So fucking play the game on the phone.
That's also lost.
Again, a huge miss. Don't talk like that back to the fans. Like, do your presentation. I thought the guy that answered immediately after the condescending question handled it.
Great. Yeah.
Excuse me, handled it really well. He was like, he didn't like do any kind of like stooping to the level or like throwing out his own jab and then answering. He was like, no, it's not a joke. It's a mobile game coming out. We're developing it. It's going to be XYZ. Just like took it in stride. Now it's professional. But like the whole, it's a phone game and come on, it's a phone. Like you can't do that either.
Right.
I mean, the way the world is right now,
get
though.
Canned?
No, I mean he'll get talked to about.
Fine.
Maybe he won't ever talk publicly again. But
he was memed though when he said, "Don't you guys have phones?"
Oh,
that was full memed right now.
Is he memed?
I know in our Discord there's a really funny one that someone posted. It's like I don't really like anal. It's like you have an ass.
You have an ass, don't you?
I think it's silly though. I know that would pop Felix. I think it's legitimately silly in 2018 to not think your favorite franchise is going to go into some weird different places because of just the way people engage in technology. It is incredibly short-sighted to think that you're immune from this, that a franchise like Diablo is going to be preserved forever only on the medium you're used to playing it. It's
You're right.
silly.
And
it's
just
silly.
because this
there's
product
gonna be a
is being
Destiny
made,
mobile thing.
Sure.
There's going to be any franchise is going to have a fucking mobile engagement.
That other company
mobile
already
phones are going to
beat
get
them,
better. Like,
well, look, just because this product is being made isn't taking away from the development of the other products.
right? It's not.
Right. So like
Especially because they're outsourcing a lot of the work.
that's also a huge point of contention.
I don't. I think that's also blown out of proportion. I think Blizzard's going to have a big hand in that. And I know that they put out a clone of this game already. The same company.
The company that's co-developing this with already cloned Diablo for the Chinese markets.
Right.
And side by side, the games like screenshots pretty much alike.
Now, if this game was coming out tomorrow, I would say it's just a reskin. But they haven't even given a release date. So I think while they may have saved time and money by saying, "Hey, we have this thing that we can already probably use." I don't fault them for that. I would do it too. It saves a fuck ton of money, honestly. And like, if you're gonna get official Blizzard people in there to refine systems and make it feel like you want it to feel, then I'm honestly not worried. Like, not even being a Diablo fan, I can respect a company wanting to preserve an experience.
Yep.
And their dialogue around the game has said, "You will have the experience as much as possible."
Preserve
on a mobile phone.
For the record,
is it a new story?
Yeah.
Yeah, it takes place between 2 and 3 apparently.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know the story of either.
Yeah, I never actually played 2. I played 3 actually at launch.
2 was my summer game when I was little. Played it. for so
I was
fucking
over
long.
at friend's house that would just play it, and it always looked.
Fuck.
It actually looked like a game that would never be allowed in my house because of like all the like demonic images. Like, not that we were like super hardcore Catholic, but like
the game was,
definitely
the
parents
game was
were like
maybe
640
by
too much
480
for you.
I don't know if I want to.
So fucking.
I
old.
know.
I don't know if I want to pay the full $60 for it on my Switch.
Yeah, I'm not either.
It'll never be cheaper on.
I've already bought it twice, so I'm okay.
I bought it on.
I have it on PC.
I might, if someone has it that I run into, I want to like play it. Like I'll play it on their console.
Apparently, you can play with one hand,
Really?
one Joy-Con. Yeah.
Oh shit, that's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty cool, and it's multiplayer, local multiplayer.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's the situation.
Everyone just gotta calm the hell down,
I
man.
just-
you know what? It's not that deep. Don't let this shit affect you.
I don't want to see developers turn against people.
Oh,
I
that
don't
would
want
be
to
really
see,
fun for
and,
couch
you know,
co-op.
It would be. Oh yeah.
Holy shit! I gotta buy it.
Felix is fucking in right
I'm
now.
paying the
Sold.
$60.
Yeah.
I'm paying the $60.
That's
It
beautiful.
we just gotta chill, man.
Yeah, but I
Will
don't.
you come over for couch co-op?
Yeah, I'll
if I
play
buy
with you.
that?
I'll play
We're
with you.
trying to recap
trying to finish
the full
putting the
fucking
note.
weight of this really
serious topic, semi-serious.
I just found.
We
out-
play this video game with me.
Yes, Felix, I will play
Yes,
it with
we
you.
will.
I will play
Yes,
it with
we
you.
will.
I have you over.
Look, what I don't want to see happen is I don't want to see journalists turn against their readers.
I don't think we're in any concern against that.
I don't know about that, man. Some of the things I see said online. There's a whole screenshot I can show you
It's-
later.
Neo, don't
sure,
turn
I'm
against
sure.
your readers, man.
I won't.
I'm
Don't
sure,
turn
but
against your readers.
everyone is going to have a really strong opinion about this.
Yeah.
And as someone who, not talking about me right now, but as a writer or like a contributor to a website, you probably have an opinion about the work that you do, and you might feel like, oh, I owe it to myself to make sure my opinion is out there. And bringing it back to me, because I kind of feel the same way. I'm like, well, I have opinions about this, and everyone seems to be yelling the opposite thing, and I'm just gonna put down my little flag of what I think. But I'm not taking any money from developers, and I don't really give a shit. So I like that argument, at least from that specific angle, that you're being paid to do this, and you don't want to lose that, so of course you think that way. I think that minimizes their opinion. Like they're people that have their own opinions about this, and they're allowed to say what they say. But I do think a lot of it was rushed.
A lot of it, no one thought about what they were saying.
And look, I love Jason Schreier, I really do.
Yeah.
But the first thing he did was tweet some real aggressive like entitlement behavior, and I was like, oh, that's kind of funny. But then I'm like,
probably shouldn't have said
maybe
that.
you don't like
Optics, bro.
go all the way. Like,
Right.
wow, calm the fuck down, babies.
And I saw your tweet last night about Jason Schreier. Like, oh, thank God for Jason Schreier. I was like, yeah, he's amazing, and he's probably the best of his industry. He's probably like the best.
For the most part, he is very like he takes his time with what he puts out there.
Right.
For the most part.
And it's always well researched, and it's always very. No other person breaks stories like I've seen him do.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yep.
And fucking
he's got some good work.
to the point where
I do want to read his book.
Bethesda and Ubisoft have blacklisted him in the past because he leaked Fallout 4 and the location of Fallout 4, and he did the Assassin's Creed on the train thing, that whole thing.
Oh, he leaked the Boston thing.
Yeah, he did.
What's the Assassin's Creed on the train thing?
The key art or the setting for like I want to say it was Syndicate. It was called like its working title was Assassin's Creed.
Where's he?
He saw someone on a train working on this, or having like art or something on their laptop,
he
like
got the
sitting
scoop
on
from that.
like an Amtrak train or something. Like
Triumvirate or something. Triumphant.
So he doesn't data mine. He just like observes shit in public.
No.
Classic investigator.
He has a lot of like contacts.
He's built up like a career's worth, like any journalist, in any kind of organization would. You'd have a career's worth of people that that you trust, that you can verify as sources if they like don't want to be like out in the open.
No different than the guys who took down Watergate.
Yeah.
Now,
but here's the thing: if you start fucking up your sources, or you go against them, or you print the wrong shit that they say, then you lose that network. So you have to like preserve your integrity with these people and with these sources.
If I may,
you may.
This is. I know we're coming to the end of the show.
Yeah.
We're going a little long.
I started this late. We are past an hour at this point.
Yeah, for sure. There was a story last week, and I'm sorry, guys, I didn't prep you on this one, but this is a really big one. There was a news outlet that reported back in February of leaked details of Red Dead Redemption 2.
I remember this. Yeah,
serious
I heard about this.
details. Yeah. This past month, it seems as though Take-Two forced them to donate $1 million to a charity of their choice because of this.
Yeah, like a penalty, but like a twist on the penalty.
Either you do this, or we're taking you to court and we're going to run you dry.
Right.
And like that's some serious journalistic lines being crossed, because I feel like if they find a source and they anonymously print it, they can print it. But these companies have such girth.
Can we just,
Can
I just say it?
Sure.
I mean, the Take-Two Interactive is the Edison of fucking video games.
When you say the Edison of video games,
Thomas Edison.
Well, he stole from people. Right?
Oh,
is that what you're saying?
No, but he strong-armed. Edison strong-armed his competition.
I see.
He
You're saying.
strong-armed the media.
Well,
I know.
I feel like
I love
a lot of these.
This is not the first time I've mentioned Thomas Edison being a
I gotta look up more of this just so I'm with it.
It's real, but you can look it up.
Yeah, I know. I heard he was.
Yeah, he strong-armed the fuck out of people. Well, that's why Hollywood exists. They got scared and they left.
Well, here's a lot of these companies, like these game companies.
You can look that up.
Okay.
We'll look it up.
We'll
look it up.
Warmer weather and less Thomas Edison. That's why Hollywood
a lot.
You shoot year round, and then you don't have the strong arm, like crooked tactics of Thomas Edison.
The Thomas Edison History Podcast, brought to you by OG Podcast
He
Network.
just wanted the Nickelodeon to succeed, and you know what? He got his way because we have all these fucking Nickelodeons in our hands now.
Look, I'll join you on this podcast because there's a lot to unpack in what you just said. So, coming up next.
Coming up next, Felix just drops a bomb at the end of the show.
Yeah. There's
all right.
So much that you just put right on the table there.
You did. I was trying to finish my
sorry,
thought.
Ian.
No, it's fine. Look, I've been talking a lot this whole time. I apologize for that.
That's fine. You don't apologize for talking on your show.
Do not.
But yeah, a lot of these companies have a lot of weight to throw around.
Yeah, because I saw this story pop up and I kind of read through it, and I don't really like the behavior, but for a smaller publication, they may not have like the resources to fight back against something like this. Like if Take-Two is like, well, I don't want them talking about our game, then they can go after them. I don't know the full legality as to where this lands. Like if it was just fucking made up bullshit, then of course they can get sued.
Here's the thing: I don't even think it needs to be fully illegal, and I don't think what the company them leaking documents definitely isn't illegal. They're doing what any news organization would do.
Right.
But imagine if someone like Take-Two came upon our website and was like, "You just printed something that we don't think is in your best interest."
Mm-hmm.
They could take you to court for any old reason, for just using your property on your site, doing anything, and they could tie you up in legal fees until you're fucking.
That's the thing. Like,
you know what I mean? Like that is a way of fighting.
They may not be legally correct, but.
Right.
We don't have the fucking podcast fund to hire the right lawyer to litigate this.
Fight Take-Two's team of lawyers.
Yeah, and that's how they would win, because you have no choice but to respond or give in that point, because they've put up the cash.
That's something to think about.
$725 million in a weekend
for Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yes.
It's the I think it's the biggest. It's either the
biggest piece of media in history. That's what he said.
Second biggest. See, there's numbers fudging because of when GTA 5 launched. They're essentially trading number 1 and number 2, depending on how you look at the metric. But for an opening weekend, Red Dead Redemption 2 is, if not the number 1, it's at least one of the top 2 entertainment products of all time in terms of sales. Like, think of anything that could be considered entertainment: movies, books, TV shows.
Yeah,
literally anything. Red Dead Redemption 2 is like the biggest opening weekend.
It's definitely the best-selling Western.
I mean,
I think GTA 5 is the biggest opening period because
GTA
it dropped
5
on a Tuesday or something.
Is the biggest all around right now.
Yeah,
because it has been selling within like the top 10 of most consoles for like the past 5 years.
I think that metric itself is great because it lends legitimacy to gaming. Like, it's not as visible, but if you look at like the money and where things are being spent,
it seriously.
It's fucking what people are doing with their time. So
yeah, the Duke is rolling in his grave.
Who?
What does that even mean?
The Duke.
He was a friend of Edison.
No, I was going to say John Wayne.
Again with the obscure.
What is
really fucking?
Where'd your brain go to get that?
References.
Pull that one.
He's the king of the Western.
So. I think Clint Eastwood is the king of the Western.
That's true.
So,
that's true.
So let's have our own little. That's podcast number 3 coming up after this. All right, guys, we're gonna cut it.
Let's get out of here.
Thank you for hanging out with us tonight. It was a good show.
Thanks.
Good show. You're welcome. Thank you. Just trade these sentiments back and forth. Again, we are the Emergent Gamer Podcast, episode 188. Did I get that right? 188?
Oh, yeah.
Yep, brought to you by the OG Podcast Network. I am Trip Zero, one of the hosts of the show. I broadcast live every day, 11 to 8 p.m. on Mixer, mixer.com/TripZeroTV. All of my socials are TripZeroTV. So follow me on Mixer, and Twitter is probably your best bet if you just want a 1-2 punch, because I'm pretty active on those platforms. Who wants to go?
I'll do it.
Go ahead.
Very short. You can find me at Twitter, Neo_Yoshi. I got all the hot, fresh takes there. And you can follow me on Twitch whenever I play games. I changed my setup at home. I'm very excited to try it out a little bit. And that's at twitch.tv/NeoAyoshi. No underscore there. And
underscore on Twitter, no underscore on Twitch.
check out theemergentgamer.com for my new article, my little write-up on Fallout 76.
Definitely get in there, guys, because Neo's been doing a lot of good written work.
I'm trying to do a lot more, too.
We're expanding out our products slowly in terms of the podcast, and this is a nice new avenue to engage. So definitely give it a read and let us know what you think.
Oh, yeah. I got my Black Ops write-up there. Call of Duty write-up is there as well.
The Spider-Man one. You're pumping the content out, dude. I appreciate
by
it.
Andy, one of our fellow fans.
We have
and
correspondence, dudes. Fucking get on this train because it's going.
So yeah, please stay tuned. Also, I keep trying to remember to say this. Rate and review our podcast
on iTunes.
Yeah. Go out,
that's
like,
honestly huge.
share, subscribe, all these things.
Even if you think I'm an asshole for calling you
I want
entitled,
to see it in writing.
Tell me that on iTunes.
See it in writing.
You entitled piece of shit.
Felix.
I take that back.
On to you.
Yeah, and this is Felix Hergood. I do a Mitch chat. It's Mixer and Twitch simultaneously. My community is a Mitch community. Come be a Mitch. Follow me on both. Right now,
Mm-hmm.
I'm rotating between. It's probably going to be a cross between Assassin's Creed, Odyssey. I'm doing a full 100% on that. That's going to take like a decade.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is.
And I'm alternating with either Elder Scrolls Online or Fallout 76. So, yep,
nice.
Doing that for a while.
All right.
We
will catch you guys next week. Later. Seeing your best friend voted.
Fucking Druckmann. That son of a bitch. God, look at that beard. He looks so good.
It's a good beard.
He's thin with a beard.
Very handsome man.
Handsome man.
You know, like you'd think we were brothers. He actually looks like Paul Rudd's brother.
He does a little bit. I don't know where he's from. He's not from. I know he's an immigrant from somewhere. I was gonna say he's like some other.
He's one of those guys like John Hamm. He grows a good beard, right? But when he shaves it off, he's got a full fucking jaw too.
Right.
Like, and you're like, you don't even need the beard, dick.
That's right, the double threat.
I'm growing the goddamn beard so I can actually have a face.